The hardest part about business as a founder, a business owner, is sometimes keeping your own grubby, stupid hands off the wheel. What I mean by this is allowing yourself or your company or your experiment to have time to develop a thesis. So let me give an example of this. Recently, I decided to design a new outbound sequence for the company. Effectively, the way we were targeting things and customers and clients and companies, the exact sequence, and I built out this beautiful new sequence. And I was very specific on the quarterly project was everybody who's in this sequence, 300 leads, needs to go through the sequence, and only then do we consider this project to be completed. So I did a very, very good job of laying out exactly what needed to happen in terms of that project itself and making very clear what that last part of the goal was, where we could say, yes, we did this per the spec. And what happens is typically you will start getting feedback. It might be from the person actually making the calls or doing the sales. They'll say, oh, I used to do this at my last job, or I had this idea of something else we could test, or maybe we could improve X, Y, or Z in the process. Or you learn that something along the way, because a business is a series of inputs that gives you an output, something along the way is not efficient as it could be. The entire problem is when you start mucking around and screwing with the experiment you designed. So instead of now 300 leads all going through the sequence, it becomes 100 leads had this, maybe 50 did that, another 70 did X, a certain amount did Y. And instead of having a clean experiment where we can say, hey, 300 people went through this exact sequence and here were the results. Instead, it's, well, we had 300 leads and we kind of did all this shit with them basically, right? One of those is a great experiment that teaches you something, and the other, you really don't learn anything. And so that is where you must step back and allow the machine to run. And the problem with this, the real problem underneath this, is that the things that got your company to where they are was probably like fucking doing stuff. Like go, drive, create, build, just do it. Doesn't matter. Don't stop. Don't listen to anyone. There's no brakes. We're just speeding down the mountain, no brakes on it, right? And the exact thing that got your company to probably the $5 million mark, $10 million mark, is the exact thing that's going to screw you up now and will continue to invalidate your theories and your ideas, because at a certain point you are no longer the one driving the car. You built the car, you maybe built the racetrack it's on, but at the end of the day, you're not the one sitting in the cockpit, because you can't sit in every cockpit in every function in the whole business all the time forever indefinitely. You can, but that's just a job at that point, right? So the exact thing that allows a business to function and grow outside of you is the exact same thing that makes it hard to grow, because you keep putting your grubby little fingers into it and mucking it all up. And that's exactly what I do all the time. I'm always constantly working on it and trying to change it. And so the big thing is, like, you have to just stop fixing things that aren't broken. You have to stop changing things before they actually have time to work. And it's going to be your natural tendency to be hands-on and to put your little grubby fingers into it and to try to see it through to completion. But once you've built the hypothesis and you've put the right people and you've installed the owners, the best thing you can do is step back and take your hands off the wheel and keep those grubby little fingers out of it. And that's where everything, like, usually the founder or the business owner is typically the problem, right? So I am now starting to, when we design these projects, like, there's literally a check mark on that says, like, Kyle stays out of this. And I think that's really, like, your job is to leave it alone. Ultimately, at the end of the day, your job is to stop touching it, leave it alone, allow the data to accumulate, allow the tests to go. And then after a pre-depositioned amount of time or result or lack of result, then you can step back in and start making the tweaks to make things better. It's really hard. Like, it's like the hardest thing, really, because the exact same things, the exact identity that you probably built everything on, is the exact thing that won't allow you to do this next part of growing the business and scaling, getting up there where it's not a job, it's like it's an asset. And you're basically a shareholder in the company. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful. If this is something that you struggle with, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and if you're looking to hire, go to hire-ua.com.